Does your lawn currently look like a field of frustration versus a green oasis? If you're from Colorado and want a green, lush lawn, I'm here to help, and I got some tips for you. I'm going to walk around a residential neighborhood here in Colorado and actually analyze lawns and their problems and show you how you can fix them and identify those problems. So come with me so we can give you a green oasis that you always desire. And these are tips you're going to get from a local provider that's been doing this for 4 decades and things you won't find at the big box store. Let's go take a look. So here's a great one. Notice this light colored green grass right here that looks so different than everything else. Well, this is actually crabgrass that's starting to germinate. And you can eliminate this by putting down a pre-emergent in the spring. Obviously, they did not do that here. And you can see it's kind of a different color looking grass, a lighter color looking grass. And the blade looks so much different than the Kentucky bluegrass here. You can compare the Kentucky bluegrass to the crabgrass. And again, you can eliminate this by putting down a pre-emergent in the spring. I prefer, and we have better luck using a liquid pre-emergent versus a granular. For us, that just works better there. They also have a post-emergent spray. There's several products you can use to actually spray this after it has come up. And it will just kill the crabgrass, not the other grass. So it is a selective herbicide, meaning there's a solution for this. So this is very undesirable. A lot of people consider this a weed. Technically it's a grass, but they don't want it in their yard. And you can see it just sticks out, especially when it's young like this. It will get darker as it ages. It'll still be lighter than Kentucky bluegrass, but it really sticks out when it starts to grow here. And it doesn't start to grow until soil temperatures really start to heat up, generally in June. June is when it shows its ugly face here in Colorado. Let's start out with a lawn that looks good. So this is what a good lawn should look like here in Colorado this time of year. Color's nice, it's thick. There's no weeds in the yard. This is pretty much almost all Kentucky bluegrass. It's been fertilized, it's been watered, and it's off to a great start. So this lawn here is an example of drought stress and a lack of fertilizer. So it needs a little more water, and it also needs some nutrition. I mean, if the lawn could speak to you at this moment, it's saying, please feed me, I'm so hungry. You could tell by the color of green that it needs some food, needs some fertilizer, and you can tell also by the color that it needs some water. One thing that's interesting about this lawn is it has in the lawn these clumps of grass. They're called tall fescue. Most of the grass we have in Colorado here is bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass. This is tall fescue. It's really deemed as undesirable. I mean, some people do plant it in their yard, but most people do not like the way it looks. They don't like the thick blade of the grass. They don't like how it grows in clumps. So the only way to get rid of this tall fescue is to kill it with a product like Roundup and replant. There's no selective herbicide to kill it, so it has to be killed and then replanted. So here's an example of leaf blight. The technical name is called Ascophyta leaf blight. This is a minor example of leaf blight, but you can see where the tips of the grass are starting to change here. And this is a great example. If I could bring this up here and see, you can see where the tip is starting to dull and get yellow. Leaf blight actually attacks the top of the leaf blade, the top of the grass. So it's treatable with several different types of fungicides. It actually gets tracked through your lawn by touching it, physical touch. So the mower wheels can spread it, the walking through it with your foot can spread it. So this is a great example, kind of a textbook example, a minor example of Ascophyta leaf blight, also just known as leaf blight. This happens, I'd say, starts in June, July, and even in August. Just comes out midsummer and really shows its ugly face. So here's a lawn, and if you notice it doesn't look very thick. It looks sparse. There's pieces of dirt showing. There's light colored of grass in here. So this is a disease known as necrotic ring syndrome, NRS for short. It's a soil disease, not a plant/turf disease. This can also be treated with a fungicide. What's interesting about this is it has to be treated early spring or late fall when soil temperatures are below a certain temperature. So you don't want to treat this midsummer, and it shows its ugly face generally in the spring and fall. You can see on the leaf of this plant, it has a rust spot. It's starting to curl. It's not looking very good. So this is a very, very common, one of our most common diseases here in Denver, Colorado, and it's necrotic ring syndrome. We treat a lot of our customers for this, and it's everywhere. Again, here another great example of necrotic ring syndrome. This is the soil disease. It's so prevalent in Colorado, and I'm finding it in many, many places. And our data shows from our customers that a lot of our customers have this. So this is something to treat for. You can treat it yourself. You can get a product at Home Depot to treat necrotic ring if you'd like, but if you treat it, it will go away, and you want to turn this into this. So you can see the difference here. And so that's what you want to happen. So again, necrotic ring syndrome, fungus, soil disease. Now this is a pretty common example. You can see the lawn here is fairly green, and this corner is dry. And so what this tells me is that this corner right here, if it could talk to you, this is what it's saying. It's saying that I'm not getting enough water here in the corner. Now you can see it's in the sun. It has this cement wall that releases a lot of heat. It has bricks here and a sidewalk here. So it just releases tons of heat. So it's probably getting overheated, and the sprinkler system is not appropriately watering this corner. So when you see where the lawn is lush and green in other areas and not so green and kind of has this bluish type of tint in other areas, this means that it's lacking water. So I'd boil this down to probably a sprinkler problem. And if you come out with hose and water it for a couple weeks, it will pop right back up. But this is right here, this corner is a watering issue. So take a look at this corner right here. You can see something has killed the lawn right here. Now, what people generally will think is that you see right down here is some rabbit turds, some rabbit feces. And they'll say, you know what, the rabbit is eating on my lawn and they killed it. But that's not necessarily the case here, because when the rabbits eat the lawn, they'll actually eat the grass down to the crown, which means down to the root system. They'll eat it really short. Now they could be sitting here and they could be playing here, but just because there's rabbit poop here doesn't mean the rabbits killed this area. And to be honest with you, when I'm diagnosing something like this, I can't tell you what killed this area. I mean, I'm too late to the game. I don't know why you got sick. I don't know why the lawn got sick in this particular area here. It could have been drought stress. It could have been necrotic ring syndrome. I can tell it's not the rabbits because it just doesn't look like the grass is eaten down to the crown here, even though there's rabbit poop. So in this situation, the best thing is to say, I don't know what happened exactly. It's not anywhere else in the yard, so I'm not going to worry about it. If I had some other areas, I could start to diagnose it and put the pieces together. But right now, I just scrape all this up with a rake, put some seed down and reseed it, or cut it out and put a piece of sod here. Oh my gosh, look at these weeds. We gotta get these people some weed control. We gotta kill these weeds. Somebody help us kill these weeds. Don't let the weeds take over your lawn, please. One thing I'll point out that I've noticed from being in the lawn care industry for over 4 decades is that you can really look at someone's yard and it just tells you their personality. Like, for example, I walked by this yard. This isn't in a high-end neighborhood, but you can see the grass is looking nice. They actually edged along the sidewalk here, which is amazing. Everything's clean. They got flowers in the window. These people keep things up, and I bet you they're doing pretty well in life, because people that are organized, that tends to apply to most areas of their life. So a little bit of tidbit there, has nothing to do with lawn care, but I notice you can really get an idea of someone's personality. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying you can really get a good idea of someone's personality by the way they keep their yard. So here's a little trick for you. So let's say you watch this video and you're going through all the diseases with me, but you still just can't figure it out. So what you can do is take a picture of the lawn disease and actually put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what the problem is. I'd say 80 or 90% of the time it gets it right. So that's a very helpful tool to help you diagnose your lawn problem. This is a very common problem we see around pine trees. So what happens is that these pine needles are so acidic, and you can see they drop their needles on the ground, and it changes the pH in the soil, and the grass does not like that. So a lot of times you'll see dead or dirt spots around the pine tree like this. And we get the question all the time is, what can you do about this? Well, there's not too much. I wouldn't try to change the pH in the soil. It's too much trouble to do that. I would say deal with the brown areas or landscape around them to fill them in with rock or something and xeriscape that area. You can see they've kind of done that here. They started to put some some mulch here because I think they're realizing they're not going to solve the problem. But very, very common situation that happens around the pine trees with the aesthetic needles. So this is a tough one. Some people might be able to look at this and say, I think this is necrotic ring, but I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's a blue haze where the grass is starting to turn. This is an identifier of drought. So this area right here is not getting enough water. A revive treatment or just some more water alone will solve this problem. So this is why sometimes it's hard to diagnose lawns, because unless you have a lot of experience, some things look like other things and it's hard to sort them out. So this is an example here of just drought stress. You can tell by the blue haze that it's starting to turn, and water will solve this problem. Here we go. I'm glad we found this. So we just came off a couple weeks of a lot of rain, and rain causes right here mushrooms, and you can see they easily come out of the lawn. We get this call all the time. Hey, I got mushrooms in my yard. What can you do? Can you spray these? I don't want these in my yard. Well, mushrooms are a sign of healthy dirt. So this is a good sign if you have mushrooms and obsessive water. So mushrooms is a good sign that your dirt is in good shape and has a lot of nutrients there. So if you have mushrooms, just wait a little bit, be patient. They will go away on their own. There's no need to worry about them. But last couple of weeks, we got a lot of calls on mushrooms because we had so much rain. I have an interesting story about this homeowner here. So it's looking much better, but you can see here he had some necrotic ring, and it was all along the front here. And I gave him some recommendations of what to buy, and he went to Home Depot and put some stuff down, and you can see it's actually starting to clear up here. So it's looking a little better than it was. Like, it was really bad, so it's starting to clear up. This side it was bad, and this side it was really bad. And even though it hasn't completely cleared up yet, it looks 50% better than what it was. So here's an example of a homeowner that actually did his own self-treatment and is getting some results from it. Again, we're seeing a lot of it. This is a combination of necrotic ring and drought stress. Mostly necrotic ring, but boy, it is very prevalent here in this Littleton neighborhood. That concludes my walk around this Denver, Colorado neighborhood. Actually, technically it's in Littleton, Colorado. And we got to see some problem areas in the lawns. We got to identify a lot of the common problems in the lawns we have in Colorado. Again, a lot of these will probably apply to other states that have cool season grasses, but this is specifically what I'm seeing right now, kind of late spring in Littleton, Colorado. So I hope that was helpful. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'll have other videos like this. If there's some other type of content you'd like to see, or a video you'd specifically like me to make, just leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. And remember, it's been statistically shown that green grass makes you smile.